Hello beautiful people, I am DJ and welcome back to my channel DJ Cooks and Books. Today I am going to be telling you what are the books that are on my TBR for the month of April. This month I am going to be participating in two readathons. The first readathon that I'll be participating in this month is Litwithindianlit, which is run by Smriti at Sant Reads, and one of the prompts is to read an award-winning or award-nominated book, and I have a very good one that I hauled a couple of weeks ago, and that is Valli. That was written in originally. Okay, let me explain what the readathon is before I start. The readathon Litwithindianlit is in a readathon in which we read translations from Indian languages. So this book was translated from Malayalam, which is spoken in the Kerala state, which is in the southern part of India, and this book was written in Malayalam by Sheila Tomi, and this is her debut novel, and she was given a Cherukkud award for Malayalam literature for this and shortlisted for JCB 2022. And the translator Jayashree Kalathil, who translated it from Malayalam to English, also won an award, JCB award to be precise, for her another translation called Mustache, which I'm also interested in. Maybe in future I'll get to it. That's why this book is like packed with nominations and awards, and I am excited to read it. Let me tell you a little bit about the book. Valli, the name of the book, the meaning of it in Malayalam, it's a noun that means a vine or a climbing plant. It also means earth. It also means a young woman. It also means wages or a measure of paddy, rice paddy, given as wages. It was an oppressive feudal practice that exploited Kerala's indigenous Adivasi or Aboriginal people. And in this book, the author explores a place called Wayanad, a village in which she herself grew up, and the people of the land and the nature and its aboriginals, the people of Wayanad, and the settlers or the immigrants who came afterwards. And Sheila Tomi also explains everything from a context of a small Christian community in this rural part of India, which also gives it a unique characteristic. And I have already started this book. I have read only one chapter, and the language is really lyrical and poetic, and I'm loving it. It's amazing. I have high expectations from it. The next novel that I'll be reading this month for Litwithindianlit was translated from my mother tongue Marathi. It is written by an author called Kiran Nagarkar, and the book is called 7 6s are 43. So 7 times 6 is actually 42, but in this apparently book's world, 7 6s are 43, and this was written originally in Marathi with a title called Sat Sakkam Trechalis, which is not true. Sat Sakkam Bechalis is the correct answer of this math equation, but this is a bizarre word apparently, and it does not follow the rules. And in this book there is a story of an author called a struggling author who has not been successful, called, I think, Kaushank, and this author is financially struggling. He is dependent on his friends and lovers for the money for living, day-to-day living expenses, and he goes out into big bad world and tries to survive it. This book is written, I have heard from reviews that it is written with a nice sense of humor, and I'm really excited about it. And I have in fact read another book written by this author. I think he wrote that one in English. He wrote in Marathi and later in English as well, and that book was called Ravan and Eddie, and that was also a very interesting book about kids growing up in Mumbai after India got its independence in 1947. This book was written in 1974, I think, and I'm really looking forward to reading it. The next book, this is like an amalgamation of the prompts of both the readathons, Litwithindianlit and Transgirlapril, because it is written by a trans Indian author in an Indian language and then translated in English. The book is called Truth About Me, A Hijra Life by A. Revathi. A. Revathi is Bangalore-based activist, and A. Revathi is a trans woman who is working for rights of the sexual minorities. And in this book she has written about her struggles from within her family. She faced a lot of violence and opposition in her transition, and also of course from the society. The society is not very friendly towards LGBTQ people in India at least, and everywhere else, I think almost everywhere else. And she writes about her struggles of being in the Hijra community, and Hijra is a specific community of trans people in India, and I'm excited to learn more about her life and get inspired from her story. So that is my book for both these readathons. Let me talk about the second readathon now. The second readathon that I am going to be participating in is Transgirlapril, that is run by Kevvie from Say Kevvie and Willow from Books and Bow. And this is in support of trans community, and the prompt 0 is denounce fascism and pledge your support for trans people across social media. So I do that. I denounce fascism of all sorts and I support my trans brethren. I am a cisgender man and I am a strong ally for the trans community, because I myself am part of LGBTQ community. I am the B from LGBT, so I have to support my neighbor T, and I'm not talking about my neighbor Totoro. I'm talking about the trans community. So let me quickly tell you about the books that I'll be reading for this readathon. The first one is The Truth About Me by A. Revathi that I talked about earlier. It's a trans woman written non-fiction book about her biography, about her struggles growing up trans or living her trans life in India. And the second book that I was looking for, I wanted to look for a book that was written originally in Japanese and then translated to English, because I am reading Japanese translations as my personal reading goal this year, like at least 6 of them, but I could not find such. However, I found a wonderful sounding book in the search that I was conducting for this type of book, and this is written by a trans woman from America but who has ethnical background, Japanese background, and this trans woman is called Rika Aoki, and the book is called Light from Uncommon Stars, and it's by Rika Aoki, and it has the most confusing synopsis that I've read in a long time. It's set in a donut shop or a cafe, and there is an interstellar traveler also / violinist, and who has made a deal to provide souls of some 6 or 7 violinists to someone in return for their own soul or something like that. But then they fall in love with a woman in the cafe or where they get donuts, and it's supposed to be really cozy also. And I'm so confused, but I'm really interested. I really want a donut now. And the first book that is not in the readathons is Bliss Montage. It's a short story collection by Lingma, and I have read Severance by Lingma before and I loved that book, and I have no idea what this book is about, but this is a short story collection and I'm going to be reading it. I am thinking of making a themed vlog out of it, which I don't want to spoil you the theme of, but you'll see. So that is my first book, and I have that on audio on my Libby app from the library. The second book that I am going to be reading for not any readathons this month is the second book in the Wayward Children series by Seanan McGuire, Down Among the Sticks and Bones by Seanan McGuire, and it is also can be read as a standalone, and it is the story of twin sisters Jack and Jill, I think, Jacqueline and Jill, and they go to some bizarre parallel world apparently, and I want to know about it. I have no idea other than that what happens in the book, but the first book I enjoyed very much and I've decided to pick up the next book in the series, so that I will be reading on audio as well on my Libby, and I have it on my Kindle as well. So that is my second book which is not part of a readathon. So this is my TBR for the month of April. Let me know if you have read any of these books, and if you want to recommend any books that are similar to these books to me. and I hope I'll enjoy. And let me know what you are excited to read in this month, so that maybe we have the same book that we are excited about. And I will talk to you next week. Bye bye. Take care until then. Bye.